Hello and welcome to an Everquest guide. This is my first class guide for TLP based characters. So this is a monk. This is a level 50 monk. Now this one's a little different because it's on Teak and it started in Kunark. So you kind of, you get a little extra info here. But let's talk about the monk here. So monks don't have very many spells at this level at all, so let's kind of look at what disciplines we have right now. There may be like one more that I'm missing, but I'm not going to be able to buy it here, I don't believe. I'm here in the Monk Guildmaster Hall in Cabalus, so that's where I'm at. I don't think you can buy the disciplines here. You have to buy them in what is it called? Freeport, I believe, or East Calmans. And then at 50 plus, we get a bunch more, and we'll cover that at level 60. But we have Elbow Strike, Throw Stone, and Resistant Discipline at the moment. I might be missing something like, I don't remember what it's called, but these are pretty good. Elbow Strike is a strikes your opponent, does 5 damage. It hits... There's not very many at this level, and I believe these are not even like true classic abilities. These were added later on, but they're available on TLP servers. I use Elbow Strike every once in a while, not as much as Throw Stone. Throw Stone is my primary pulling ability when I play the monk. I just target something and throw the stone at it. It does not have a long range. I think probably, see that guy over there, the court chronicler right over there. I think that's about as far as it works, which in most experienced camps that works pretty well, right? And we look at him and make sure he doesn't have any disciplines on him. No, he doesn't. All right, perfect. And then resistant discipline, I've never used it. This just gives us more resistances for a little bit. If we look here, I'm at let's make a hockey with that, 15, 25, 15, 49. If I hit this, it goes up by, it looks like 20. Let's say 20. So it's not terrible. Like if you're doing like a dragon or something, this might be something worth clicking. I don't believe it lasts for very long. It's a 29-minute reuse and a 5-minute duration. So that would definitely last for a dragon fight in most cases. So Throw Stone being, valuable. Elbow Strike, not so much. Now, we don't really have much else other than that. So let's kind of look at some of the combat abilities we have. As a monk, we get a lot of different abilities. Tiger Claw, Round Kick, Flying Kick, Eagle Strike, Tail Rake, and so on and so on. Now, at this level, you want to use whatever does the most damage. Now, I use Tail Rake and I use Flying Kick. You can auto-skill 2 different ones. Auto-skill is a command available on TLP servers, but it will automatically activate your Flying Kick and your Tail Rake on cooldown and whatnot. Later on in the game, at further expansions down the line, if we do here, Kick Mastery is one of them, right? No, not Kick Mastery. What is it called? Resounding Kicks. Here we go. Resounding Kicks. Passive ability makes your Flying Kick, Round Kick, or Kick do an additional kick. There's another one for Sweeping Kick. Your Kick skill will reduce this. It'll snare target. This is at 67 in the Omens of War expansion. So if you watch my other monk videos at the higher levels, I have buttons to switch my auto skill between Round Kick, Flying Kick, and Kick, depending on the situation. So there's different ones. Sweeping Kick is snare, and there's another one. And then you can do the same. There's different abilities that activate off the punches, also. But that's like a year or so down the line on the TLP servers. So I'm currently using Flying Kick and not Tiger Claw, Tail Rake. Now, I think it's worth leveling all of them to the maximum level you can, just so that you can switch between them and not really notice. Like my Tail Rake's kind of low right now. my Tiger Claw, I switched as soon as I got the Eagle Strike, so you can see that one. I don't even see it on there. Eagle Strike's even lower because I switched to Tail Rig as soon as I got that. So things like that, I would suggest getting those maxed out. Now, the other abilities we have, Mend is our healing ability. This is on currently on Kunark. It is pretty slow. If we hit Mend now, it's a, what is that, 5-minute or 6-minute reuse, and it will heal some damage. I would say until you get about 150 skill, it is absolutely worthless. And then about 150 to 200, it is, slightly better. I think it heals from anywhere from 35 to 25% of your missing health. So it's pretty nice to have, like you're pulling, something goes wrong, but it is a 5-minute reuse. Later on in the game, there are different ways to improve it. I can't remember the name of them right now, but there are AAs later on. You think they would just be like obviously named, right? Like improved Mend. Maybe they are called that, right? Yeah, improved Mend. There we go. So improved Mend at in Luckland at 59, which is literally like 8 weeks. 8 weeks until, yeah, because we're almost to Velius. So in 8 weeks after Velius, we'll get Luckland, which will give us a 10% chance to get a superior Mend. So you want that skill maxed out. I believe it maxes out at 200. You want that maxed out before Luckland comes out. You want to buy all the prereqs, first aid 3 and whatnot. And eventually this gets it down to like 60 seconds and it's a complete heal. So it's insanely powerful later on. Let's see here. The other ability we get is Feign Death, which is our fake death spell. So like, you're fighting something, feign death. You're fake. You're the mob. If you succeed, it will stop attacking you and whatnot. You'll be pretty legitly safe for the most part. Now you have to sit to stand up, if that makes any sense. I hit Control S on my keyboard. I don't have sit hotkeyed on there, but I feign death, and it'll work. If I fail feign death, it'll say so and so fell into the ground. See if we can get that going there. Didn't fail, but it is another thing we have in our toolkit, if you will. And then I think we have to go to this page. Sneak is another ability we have. So if I let's con this guild master, right? So from the front of him, he cons amicably, right? If I go behind him and I sneak, he's indifferent. Now, there are some tricky things you can do with that kind of information, right? Let's say he is not amicably to me and he is ready to attack. Now, I could, in theory, sneak upon him and turn into him sometimes. I believe that's one of the ways you can do it for the getting the whispering robe of the whispering fist. I believe it is whistling fist. It's the second epic robe you get, but you can do tactics like that. There's also pulling methods you can use to kind of sneak to lower the aggro range of the things around it, to pull something out, depending on various factors there. I'm not going to demonstrate it since I'm inside the city, and I'm probably terrible at it. So at the same time, but speaking of pulling, because that's like all the abilities we have as far as I can recall. Just do one more check. This arm, use it if you can. It's useful if the dual wielding, but it'll take the weapon out of the hand. Bind Wound, I've not really had a use for this yet. I know in my solo playthrough on live, I definitely used it quite a bit, but here I box a druid and I box an enchanter, so I haven't really did it. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm grouping with people, so it is what it is there. Let's see here. Yeah, fishing. It's trade skill. Yeah, remove trap, never used it. Yeah, so that's all the skills and quote-unquote spells. Now, in addition to the pulling ability of throw a stone, There are 2 throwing items you can pick up. Depending on how, well, one, depending on your race, right? Now, I'm an Ixar, and I cannot craft Anatonian javelins myself, but I did use a persona. I did make a human bard persona that I did smithing on, and he can make the Anatonian javelins for me. And these are the best. These are a 250 range pulling item. They're fantastic. The other option is if you do not have access to personas or an alt character or friends that can do the combine for you. You can do forged javelins, which are 205 range, which is still pretty good, but not as good as this. So you're gonna want those if you are a raiding monk and you pull. So you make sure you have a bunch of those. Typically, you can find somebody in your guild that can craft them. If you can't, in most cases, I would say. Let's see what else here. That's pulling. That's abilities. Let's see here. Here's a useful macro I have. So this one is stand DOA 5, so main abilities page 5, which is sneak, and then DOA 4, which is my feigned death, and then stand. So when I was leveling up my skills, I would just hit this button, and I still don't have sneak up, but it worked really well for getting all these up. And you just spam it over and over again like so. I'm clicking it with my mouse right now. You can probably hear the clicking. It just sneaks and feigned deaths over and over again. I've already maxed out Feigned Death at 200, so I don't have to worry about that one anymore, but I am still trying to get my sneak up to whatever the cap is on that. I think it's pretty high, actually. Skill name, sneak. I guess it only caps at 113, so I'm almost there. I thought it was like 255, but maybe that's only rogues. It's something to consider there. Now, another thing I probably should mention right now, race. There's only in classic. There's only human monks, and then in Kunark there's human monks and Ixar monks, and then in I think Legacy Akisha there are Froglock monks. I believe that's when they're added, and then way down the line in Secrets. No, what is that expansion called? I'm losing my mind. Serpent Spine, I believe, is when they add the Draken, which can also be monks. So your choices currently, are between human and Ixar in the, this Antique in a way, since it started in Kunark. Ixar is the superior option when it comes to this part of the game. It's not until around Omens of War-ish, level 70, level 85, somewhere between 70 and 85, when races become purely cosmetic options, when AAs, pretty much take all the abilities and stuff like that. So you're going to want to have, being Ixar, you can be human. Ixars get more AC, they get health regeneration, and they have one more delay on their fists, right? So humans have one less delay, Ixar have one more delay. So you might get a little bit more DPS, possibly, out of a human monk using just your bare fist. You notice I have no weapons on. You might get a little bit more DPS out of that, but I doubt it, honestly, in all options. I doubt it. The regeneration is helpful for when you are, standing in AoEs and stuff like that. You can kind of regenerate that back. You regenerate while feigned death, so you get a little bit of tick back. If I had a fungi tunic, that would be something to be useful there. Now, I would say that it's not a huge thing, right? Like my other monk is human. This one is Ixar. It doesn't really matter too much, but the Ixar is statistically and mathematically superior to a human. And so it is just what it is. Let's see here. Let's see. Got race. We got skills. Bandolier. Something that useful to talk about right now. I don't have mine fully set up the way I want, but since I use no weapons, right, from 1 to 60, and then when I get my epic, my fists are better than any weapon available in the game, except I think the very best thing you can get from Vishen's Peak until Velius. And then at Velius, you're going to want to start using weapons at the high end and stuff like that. I think Stav of Shielding is good in the offhand from 1 to 60 until you get your epic, then you have to get rid of it. So, it's just some options there. But I set up a bandolier to just clear this because I have looting on. I have a lot of bag space. I like to fill it with rusty weapons and other junk so that I can try to make a little platinum so I can buy better junk, right? So there's a thing there. Where I can just swap those out when I auto-loot a weapon and it gets equipped. And then I used to have an Adamite Club and a Jade Mace, and that's just something I had there, but I don't need that anymore. Alright, so some useful things to have at this level. One is J-Boots, Journeyman Boots. These are very invaluable. One, for getting around the game. It's less than Spirit of Wolf, but it gives you enough velocity to get around the world. It's a 40 velocity, I believe. Like Spirit of Wolf is like 45, but I'd have to log in another character to check that out. But it's not a big difference. You can still outrun most things, so it's worth having that. And it's an instant clicky for raids where the AoE's Dispel, which is like all the dragons and Kunark and Velius and Classic. So, it's useful for that. You just kind of keep it on at all times. Let's see here. I have an evade macro here. This just turns off my attack and feigns death. Stands back up, turns attack on. You should watch your extended target over here as much as you can because you're gonna see your aggro rating, right? On all your targets, it's gonna show up on all the different spots but you don't want to pull off aggro, especially in a raid situation or in a normal situation while you're DPSing, because while a monk is more durable than say a rogue or something like that, I'm only at 1700 hit points right now and 300 AC. That's not that great when the tanks are 1,000, 2,000 more hit points and probably 100 more AC. So, do your job. Don't take aggro, as long as you can avoid it, right? Let's see here. Hotbar wise, I don't have any multi-binds like I do in my other characters. Nothing like that. See here, I have a Northern Desert Outlook device to teleport to the tower, the anniversary tower in North Row. I got an origin button to teleport back here. It literally puts you right where those guys over there are standing. So it is pretty useful for getting around the world, right? So it has an Ixar, right? You can get to Kunark from anywhere, which, from Kabbalist, this, center of the world, it's pretty easy to get to. A few zone lines and you're there, right? From east, I can go to Feronovai to Dreadlands pretty quick. I can also go west to there, to Lake Omen, to Dreadlands also. So it is, I don't know, to Feronovai to Dreadlands, but it's pretty useful. Humans will start in, let's go here to the world map. They have two options. They have Kinos, I believe it's North Kinos, but it might be south, or Freeport. And, the Freeport option is pretty useful to get to common lands pretty quickly, but with the advent of personas, you can literally just make a persona that starts in those locations, origin to wherever you want, switch to your persona and die and go back there, right? If I switch to my Bard persona right now, he's human, he's going to get killed instantly here and sent back to Freeport. It works out pretty well. My Shadow Knight is Ixar, so he's gonna go right next to me. He's like way over there. I think it's across the bridge, so it's an option, right? You could fill all your personas with different locations, but I haven't need to since I made a druid, so it's it is what it is. Let's see here. While you're leveling, you're going to want to focus on trying to get your things for your epic. So you can see here I have the red sash of order, the purple headband, the code is N5, the idol, and the 2 metal pipes, all required for the epic. The beginning of the epic, right? Because you have to get the robe of the lost circle, then you have to turn that in and get the robe of whistling fists, which then you go get the book of immortals from Skyfire. You get the charred scale from Lava Storm. You get the sleeping ogre and Droga or whatever it is, and then go to plane of air and some turn-ins. You got an epic. It's a fairly easy epic. On Teak, some of the pieces are in the random loot table. I was able, with my static group that I leveled with, to pretty much get the majority of the items before that, and then I was able to just pay platinum for the idol and the code of Zanphi, and then my friends gave me the pipes. So, things like that, makes it pretty easy on the server. These are all usually no trade. So on the server, it's going to be quite easy to do. I should have my epic by 60. I just haven't had a chance to play, so I haven't been able to get that stuff taken care of. But let's see here. And I don't know if I disclaimered this at the beginning, but I'll disclaimer it now. This is how I play the monk. This is what I do, and stuff like that. So, I could be totally wrong here, but I don't feel like I am in any way. Let's see here. Now, gear-wise, here my screen is going to minimize because reasons, right? The client is not that great. I'm going to bring this one in here. So this is eqitems.com. Now, this is a good way to find what items to wear and what items to use. So, and you can kind of see here, this is sorts it by the best item. So the earring, the best earring I could get is a hammered golden loop, which is 8 stamina, 75 hit points. This, I believe, focuses more on that than damage, but you can see here, you kind of go down the list and be like, what can I get my hands on, right? I could get a crown of the Froglaw Kings, things like that. So there's, all the options. Now, on Teak is kind of special because at 55, you can do the anniversary quests and get insanely good out of era gear. So a lot of this is kind of not truly accurate for the pieces that you can get in those, but it's still a good guide for where to go. Like the epic is the best in slot for a few expansions, and then it's replaced. I think in Vexthal is when you replace it. Maybe a little bit after that, depending on what you get. Whatnot, but for the basic starting gear, I highly recommend Wu's fighting armor. So you can buy a full set of this for about 500 platinum, maybe less platinum at this point. I paid 500 for mine. Plus I had to go farm a Greater Lightstone for the guy that was making it. It is actually pretty decent armor. Here we go. It's got AC, it's got agility. Now, when you make your character, so I made this character on day 1 of Teak, and I was rushing to get Yurd as my name because I couldn't reserve it because I didn't have the 200 playtime on him to reserve the name on all my other ones. But I did all my points into agility. That's why I have so much agility. I would have probably done either strength or stamina if I had thought about it before I hit create character, and there's no way to change it after the fact. Even a race change to human and a race change back would not fix it. So that is a thing to think about, but agility has served me well. It keeps my AC high, and it's not too bad, in all honesty. But the Wu's gear all has that. Lower level stuff like the Gorilla Hide leggings are all really good too, that you can pick up from if you go to North Row. There's this mummy that spawns there, Ryotep, Remotep, something like that. He has a chance to drop these leggings. You get those from him. Let's see what else I got on me here. The Shackle Quest. I plan on doing this. I haven't started it yet, but Ixar monks and get the Shackle Quest, which allows them to get a bracer. I believe at the end it's like 25 or 50 hit points. It's not the best, but you know it's gonna be it's content, so I'm gonna do it. The human monks get to do these headbands, which are used for the epic quest. They're not the best stats, in all honesty. They are pretty mediocre, but in classic terms, they're okay. The robe that comes from this, the robe of the Lost Circle, is actually a really nice item. It's like 50 hit points and stuff like that. So it's a really nice item. I might actually do it twice if I can get a hold of the items a second time without too much effort, just to have that as a chest piece until I get something better. Let's see here. There's a lot of stuff. Mesh is another option early on. As you know, I level almost all my characters in Guck, and I like Guck in Mesh drops in Guck, Fearrot, and the Inithul Swamp off the Froglock mobs. It's definitely a good starter set until you can get woos, for sure. That's, you know, pretty good. Cloth is okay too. Cloth weighs more. I don't think I have the mesh tunic on me anymore, but cloth weighs a little bit more, I believe. So you want to keep your weight under, I believe it's 18 at 50, and then 21 at 60. Give or take. I don't know. I'm used to a live one where it doesn't even matter at all anymore. But at this early stage, you want to keep your weight down. That's why I have bone chips sitting in the top slot of my inventory, just to kind of keep stuff from going in there until I get 2 more bags to fill the slot. But yeah. Let's see here. Nothing else is really calling out to me as important. Buff wise, when you're on a raids, you're in a group, you want to make sure you always have strength, stamina, spirit of wolf if you don't have J boots. I would hold off on getting thorns, just because, you know, some of the mobs do summon, and you might accidentally trigger them to summon. I know. It just depends on how many hit points the mob has. You're going to want anything that increases your hit points just to make it easier to pull. I was pulling in Sibyllus and I got nuked down. Like, by default, I have almost 1800 hit points. That doesn't last very long when you're getting nuked by multiple wizards. So the more hit points, the better. Always get magical resist from either a cleric, shaman, or a druid, or an enchanter. Those classes all can do that. So you want the highest MR you can get. So that's, just to prevent you from getting rooted while pulling, or stunned while pulling from some of the wizard spells that do the stuns. High resist is very important to have. I'm wearing currently HP, 5 AC, 55 HP rings with 2 AC, 12 HP, 3 strength earrings. I try to balance it between strength and HP, just because, like, I want to be able to survive the pulls, 1, and 2, I want to do damage, right? Our punches are dependent on strength and stuff like that. So it's, higher the strength, the better we do there and whatnot. And a lot of this will get resolved when I hit 55, and then I'll be able to wear the Tower Anniversary Tower gear, which will pretty much, I think it'll take me close to 200 in most of the melee stats, because they each have 10 of all stats, I believe, plus the Augs are insane. So it's gonna be pretty overpowered there for a little bit, but it should be nice. But I think that's everything. There's some other items, like the fungi tunic would be nice to have if you can get it. The fungus staff, the pre-nerf one, is nice because you can click that from inventory, and any class can use it versus the ones listed on it. And that gives you, the fungi tunic regen plus the fungus scale, or the fungus staff gives you another 15 regen allowing you to really get up some stats really quick. And you can kind of like click that, feign death, and regenerate your health back while you're, feign death and stuff like that. So that's another thing. It does snare you, so you're going to want to have J boots to counteract that. But yeah. So that is, I think, everything for a TLP level 50 monk. Hopefully I said 50 at the beginning of this. If not, it's going to be in the title, so there we go. That's everything I can think of. I'm going to do another one at 55, and then another one at 60, and then I'll probably do my other TLP characters too, just to have TLP versions of these, because I get a lot of views on my normal guides, and people mention things about TLP that just are not relevant in the live game anymore. And hopefully this will help address some of those issues. I'll make sure this is well noted that it is a TLP video. You could probably use some of this on live, but you're, in my opinion, 1 through 70 on a live server is flyby. You're gonna go through so fast through it, you won't even think about it. But if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.